Hey guys, Mr. Middletown here, Charlie O'Rourke. I just left an honest mold inspection. So we had a home inspection, there was water in the crawl space. And of course, every home inspector is going to say, check it for mold. And the FHA inspector is going to come and say, oh, it needs to be, cleaned up, at least the water, and certified there's no mold, which is fine. We get it, they're protecting the buyer. I just met home inspector friend of mine. He's basically Mr. Mold. He knows it inside and out. He will give you a warranty. He will inspect the property. If he finds no mold, he will warranty that it's not mold, and then he will for a year, and then he will renew that policy every year. So if you find mold, you call him. Probably not gonna, you know what I mean? If you do, you call him, he comes and treats it. But we were talking, because he's been in the business longer than me, one of the first guys I met. But while we're there, I get a phone call from a termite company. Now, this termite company's been in business before me too, so 20 plus years. I actually used to use them when I first got in the business. But the funny part about them is they're a termite inspection company who home inspectors who don't have termite inspection license, they hire them. Now, I wish they knew their track record as well as I do. So if you're a home inspector, ask when you're if I don't care if you're using me, I'm looking to protect you, because this triggers a whole bunch of stuff and money to be spent by both sides. So if you're hiring a home inspector, I don't care who it is, they don't all have their own termite licenses, because it's another 50, 80 hours and more money to maintain every year. Some of them just want to be home inspectors. So they sub out the job to a termite company, some of them. So if you are hiring a home inspection, one, I hope you call me and I'll give you a good referral, even if you're not buying or selling with me, because I have the best. I only deal with the best. But if you are, and you don't want to call me, make sure you ask them, are you doing the termite inspection, number one, yourself? And number two, if you aren't, who is? And if that termite inspector owns a termite company, you're going to want to know that, because you're going to probably have termites in the house you're buying somewhere, or evidence of termites in the past. I'm not saying they're all unethical, but I'm saying this company is definitely unethical. And I'm not going to say the name because that's not my style. However, if you call me and tell me that they're inspecting your house, I will tell you not to use them. So it's going to be a one-on-one situation in this situation. They have cost buyers and sellers so much money, aggravation, because here's what happens the second he or she finds a termite in the house or evidence of termites. He checks the box that says, on the termite form, that says, visible evidence found in home. Right away, that triggers the fact that there's going to need to be a policy put in, or a treatment, which he's going to follow up like crazy on, because he does. And then it triggers another problem. Now for the CO, you have to have it treated. You have to sign a hold harmless letter with the town in Middletown. You have to have all these things that go into place. And then someone has to pay for all those things. So if there's a warranty on it already, maybe it's covered, right? If the people currently have a termite treatment program, which a lot of people really don't, which you probably should. It's really cheap, but it's a good idea, just like the mold policy that my buddy Joe offers. So you're going to either be on the hook as a buyer, or the seller is now going to be backed into a corner where he has to, or she has to spend money to, one, treat it, two, replace maybe the beam that they're saying has old evidence, which usually, I mean, you got to have a lot of termite damage. You need to replace a beam in a house, or even a 2x4. My point is, we're getting into more details than we need to. If you are having a home inspection done in Monmouth County, please text me, call me, and ask me for my personal referral, even if you're not buying with me or selling with me. I don't care. This is because I care about homeowners and home buyers. And there are companies out there that are going to make $35 on the inspection if they show up and there's no termites, or they're going to make $150 or so if they find termites, or if they bring termites. And then they're going to follow up like crazy and try to get the treatment out of them, which is probably going to be another $500, $800, $1,200, depending on the depending on the job or the severity of the termites they find. So it's gonna cost you, potentially as the buyer, that if it's an as-is sale, or the seller, who's now gonna be aggravated. He has to pay for that, and most likely now won't fix something that's probably seriously wrong with the house. It's gonna cost you more money down the road to replace. So please, buyer, beware that your termite inspector shouldn't be biased. It should have no vested interest in the fact that you or he finds termites in the house that you're buying. Because sometimes termites will kill a deal. I mean, that scares some people, and it's really not that big a deal. I mean, even if it is a beam or a 2x4 or some soffits or whatever, it can be replaced very cheaply and efficiently, and the house will be fine. So one, you could lose the house of your dreams over somebody trying to make a couple extra bucks. Or two, you could wind up spending extra money. Or three, the seller might be having to spend extra money, and then you're not going to get some of the items that are probably seriously wrong with the house. And maybe they would have taken care of those for you or given you a credit, but now they're aggravated that they had to, clean up or treat termites. When I used this company early in my career, every house had termites. One time he found it out in a wood fire pile 50 or 100 feet away, but it was on the property, so there was technically termites in the house. Even then I was young age, and I was like, that's weird. Like, why would he find termites in a firewood pile that wasn't next to the house or near the house, but he wrote it up. So, since I've changed home inspectors, who doesn't have a vested interest in you having termites in your house, he does a true termite inspection. And guess how many times we usually have termites out of, let's say, 20 home inspections a year? 2. And usually it's not the type that needs to be treated. It's usually evidence of previous, meaning just keep an eye on it, get a policy in place, something like that. This has went way longer than I wanted to because I'm passionate about it. And I've just talked to a couple of the realtors that have been doing business in town as long as I have been. And we are both, I've had 2 serious conversations with one who sells as much plus more than me in this market, in this area. And she feels the same way. So I'm not alone in this. I'm sure once I put this out there, maybe we'll all have a good laugh on this side of it, because I'm right, she's right, and I just got the phone with them, so I'm a little aggravated, and I want to make sure home buyers and home sellers are protected. That's my job. I don't even care if you're my client. It's my passion to protect you. I'm here to service and protect you. And I love to affect real estate sales. So I like to make deals happen. And that is not a way you make a deal happen. That is not ethical. And man, is it pissing me off. So that's a lot longer than I wanted to go. This is Charlie O'Rourke, Mr. Middletown. And Mr. Middletown is fired up, but he wants to make sure that you know that your termite inspector, your home inspector, should not have a vested interest in you having termites in your home. He should get his $50 inspection fee and be done. And if he finds them, report them correctly. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's his fiduciary responsibility when you hire a termite inspector and a home inspector. Mine is to protect buyers and sellers. And in this case, I don't even care if you're mine. I don't care if I'm making a penny off you. I'm sick of this guy, and I'm sick of this situation. Buyer beware. Buyer call Charlie O'Rourke. Buyer text Mr. Middletown. I don't care if I represent you. I want you to know, and I want to save your deal, save you money, and save you aggravation, because it's going to be aggravation. I don't care if it's a buyer's or seller's market. Termites are an issue. They're a pain in the ass. And if they're not there, there's no need to make an issue out of it so that somebody else can make a few bucks. Thanks, guys. Rant over.